Okay, great. Okay, so here we go. Kimberly.
The ball is hot.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold, yeah. But that's not necessarily a reflection on you. It could be a reflection on me. Make it something else now.
Okay. Cold.
The ball is wet.
It was sticky.
Oh, sticky.
Oh, okay.
Sticky. Okay.
Okay.
Sharonda.
Was it like lumpy? What?
Oh. Okay, Sharonda, I'm the last one.
Okay.
Does it bite?
It was prickly.
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 Okay, not bad. So it affected my skin.
Yeah.
Okay, that
was good.
Right. Ladies, thank you so much for playing the imagination game with me. I love playing imagination games. I think that they are paramount. They are the biggest muscle that we have as actors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our imagination is the foundation for honest storytelling. It is the holy grail for actors. It's the, hey! Yes!
Hello. I finally got it to work.
Okay, good. I was like, listen, I probably should have put that on the flyer, like, be ready to show your face. I'll remember that next time. So our imagination is the holy grail for actors, for artists, period, right? By today's standards, fame is intended for anyone who can get it. Mm-hmm. By today's standards, which can make it very challenging to define and understand what it takes to be a good actor. So we're going to play another exercise. You don't have to say anything this time. As a matter of fact, go ahead and mute your mics for now, just to help with the sound. And I want everyone to close their eyes. I want you to imagine the first movie you ever saw that made you say, yeah, I want to do that. Or if you don't have a movie like that, just imagine your favorite scene done by your favorite actor in your favorite moment. Oh, I'm loving the looks on y'all's faces from a movie you absolutely love. Keep watching. What are they wearing? What does their voice sound like? Are they anxious? Are they happy? What time of day is it? What was that one line they said that you'll never forget? As you think of this image, I want you to check in with yourself. What do you feel thinking about this memory? Whatever you're feeling, it's happening in your body. I want you to take your hands and place it. So if you feel it in your heart, place your hands over your heart. If you feel it in your gut, place your hands over your gut. If you feel it in your head, place your hands on your head. Wherever that feeling resonates, I want you to place your hand. Yes. Yes. Okay. Open your eyes. That's what good acting does. It stays with you. That's what honest storytelling does. It never leaves you. I was sitting with an actress in my class the other day, and she said, it's so a shame, like after you do the play, it's over. It's never over. It's never over. Most of you probably thought of a scene or an actor. You've probably thought of something from your childhood or from your adolescent years, which is more proof that good acting, good storytelling stays with you. In fact, like metal, a good actor is malleable, ductile, and the perfect conductor for the heat and energy of humanity. And ladies, that takes time to build. That does not happen overnight. Your greatest tool as an actor is your imagination and your humanity. I hope y'all are taking notes. I don't care what technique you study, Meisner, method, Shirley Temple, ice cream and soda pops. I like Stanislavski, Uta Hagen, Stella Adler. I don't care what what technique you study. Your greatest tool as an actor is your imagination and your humanity. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself. I already said my name, but I'll say it again. It's Nicole Moore Joseph. I have been studying acting for close to 20 years, actually a little bit more. I started acting in grade school when I was like 7, and throughout my grade school, quote unquote, career, I was producing talent shows and writing and doing plays and all those fun things that I love to do. But by the age of somewhere between about 17, 19, I co-founded a theater troupe in South Florida called Bookshelves and Stereos. And we produced and put on shows. And then I went on to study acting in college, at Broward College in Fort Lauderdale. Then I went to New York. I studied at the City College of New York. I studied at TVI Actor Studio for 2 years, and I studied with Roger Hendricks Simon. And then I moved to Los Angeles, and I studied the Meisner technique at the Ruskin School of Acting with John Ruskin, who is one of Sandy Meisner's apprentices. I'm a big fan of the Meisner technique. And I am currently living in Atlanta, studying the method technique. And the reason why I say these things is because though I'm a teacher, I am forever a student. I have a lot to learn about acting, and I think that we can always, there's always room for more improvement, no matter what level you're on. Okay, so let's get back to you and your brilliance. You know, I love Mist. I really do. When I lived in Los Angeles, I was surprised to see how Mist would just come in the morning. This girl would show up and just rest on everyone. Like everyone was affected by Mist. When she stepped into the atmosphere, everybody knew, as long as you were awake and looking out your window. And I loved it. It affected everybody's day. But by the afternoon, nobody was thinking about her. Nobody remembered her. That's not the kind of actor you want to be. Sharonda's like, no. That's not the kind of actor I want to be. That's not the kind of actor I want you to be. So let's get practical. Your imagination and your humanity are your two greatest tools as an actor. But if you want to flourish as an artist and an entrepreneur in this business, I implore you to remember these 3 things. And this, I hope you will write down. I see some people. Yeah, yes, honey. Yes. Get that pen and paper. Okay. And when I open up for Q&A, if you've missed anything that I said, I'll repeat it. So, you know, for sake of time, I'm gonna keep going, though you may still be looking for a pen and paper. So I want you to write this down. We talked about your greatest tools, your imagination and your humanity. I want you to write down this. Your greatest ally as an actor is your greatest ally as an actor is, and this applies to any artist, not just actors. Your greatest ally as an actor is your relationships. Not your agent, not your manager, not your headshots, not your acting teacher. It's your relationships. Who can you build with now? Who's in this room? And who thinks differently than you that you could stomach to work with? You all have stories in you that matter. And you will need to be in relationship with people to bring those stories to life. So that's the first key. Your greatest ally is as an actor are relationships. And just to give you, my career was very unorthodox. Most of the quote unquote success that I've had doing a one-woman show, doing an off-Broadway show, casting a Broadway show in New York, doing co-starring roles, I didn't get those through auditions. I got them through relationships. Right? So it's not who you know, it's who knows you. Okay, next key. I'm going to tell you your purpose as a storyteller. So you might want to write this down. Your purpose as a storyteller. It's so simple. Your purpose as a storyteller is to reflect humanity. That's it. Everything about you that you think is ugly, trashy, beautiful, exemplary, should be held on a pedestal, should be hidden in the deepest, darkest trenches of the earth. That's what's going to make you great. You know, one of my favorite storytellers of all time, in my opinion, is Jesus. He used stories because he understands how our human mind works. We have to see things because we are creators like him, right? And the stories he told were constantly showing people their humanity, constantly. The woman at the well, he held up a mirror and told her about her 5 husbands. He showed people themselves. That's our job as actors, to show people themselves. That requires you facing your own demons, right? So that they don't hold power over you when you're telling the stories that you've been selected to tell. And every audition is a gift. And I learned this from one of my teachers, Cecily Ash, who's amazing. Think of every audition as a box with a bow. If it belongs to you, whoever it belongs to is the only one who can open it. Right. And everybody gets a box. Everybody. Everybody gets a box. That's great. Okay. Speaking of humanity, before we get to the last key, I want to get to know you guys a little bit. So what we're going to do, this is called Who Am I? Okay, and you don't have to turn on your cameras for those of you who got the face masks on and are like, honey, I'm not beat. I'm not turning on my camera right now. That's fine. I get it. So take a moment. I want you to think of 3 words your best friend would use to describe your most positive qualities. 3 words. I also want you to think of 3 words that your worst enemy, now, if you don't have a worst enemy, trust me, we all have an enemy, but just imagine someone who's your worst enemy that would use three things to describe about you that aren't necessarily lies, but things that you know you've participated in, right? So I'll start. 3 positive words my best friend would use to describe me. Encouraging, funny, caring. 3 words my worst enemy would use to describe me: insecure, doubtful, addict. Okay, who's up next?
I'll go.
Thank you.
My best friend would say I'm loyal, I'm kind, and I'm quiet. And then my enemy would say quiet also, because that's looked at as a bad thing. So enemy would say that. And that I'm to myself a lot, and that I'm very private.
Mm. Thank you for sharing, Kimberly. That's good. Nicole, you go next.
Okay. 3 things my best friend would say: caring, dedicated, and provider. 3 things that my enemy would say: demanding, non-forgiving,
Mm.
and oh Lord, picky. Oh, impatient.
Impatient. Okay. Thank you. Who's next? I'm going to comment on all these in a minute. Who's next?
I'll go. So 3 things my best friend would say about me is I am compassionate, honest, and selfless. 3 things an enemy might say about me: I am mean, petty, and guarded.
Ooh, okay. Thank you. Who's next? I see you, Sharik. I'm assuming you're trying to get on. Okay, we'll come back to you. Jennifer or Mo, you don't have to turn on your camera. If you could just turn on your audio. Oh, there you are. Is your audio not working? It's work. Okay, 1 second.
This just, oh, I'm telling you, I'm not. It don't make no sense. I don't know how to work this phone.
Say your name for me, please.
It's Sharik.
Sharik. Okay.
3 things that my best friend would probably say is that I never meet a stranger.
Mm.
I have a huge heart, and that I'm crazy. Yep. And then somebody who is my enemy would say that I'm controlling, I'm loud, and I never take anything serious.
Ooh, interesting.
Yep.
Thank you, Jennifer. I saw your message. Thank you for sharing, Sharik. That's
No problem.
interesting. Mo, are you with us, love? Trying to speak, but my mic isn't. Oh, I see. My mic isn't working. Would you like to type it in, Mo? And if not, it's okay. I don't want to put pressure on you. I understand. Trust me, coming off of some technical difficulties myself. I understand. Well, if you want to go ahead and type it in, I'll catch it, but I'm going to keep going for now, and I'll just keep an eye out for you, Mo. So let me ask you a question, just by a show of hands. How many of you were listening when the other person was speaking? Raise your hand when other people were speaking. Right? Do you feel like you know a little something more about the other people in this room, though you've never had a conversation? Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's humanity. You all, oh, okay, here goes Mo's. Okay, 3 things my friend would say: I'm confident, outgoing, and the life of the party. Oh, I bet it's killing you that you can't get your mic to work. Life of the party. My enemies would say I am cocky, boisterous, and bubbly. Ooh, that's interesting that your enemy would think of bubbly as a negative thing. Y'all are, I'm telling you, like, we are some amazing creatures, right? Like, thank you so much for sharing, Mo. Like, way to be on the team. Yes, you made a way. Those are the kind of actors people like to hire, by the way, resourceful ones. So kudos to you, Mo. And thank you again for sharing. It can get on some people's nerves. Girl, I hear you. Oh my gosh, do I hear you?
That's called making an impression.
I know, right?
good or bad, you made one.
Like,
They won't
that's
forget
so
you.
people, let me say something. When you getting on people's nerves, it's like, I've been in therapy too long not to know at this point that that has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Unless I'm insulting and disrespecting you. But I hear you, Mo. Okay, let's move on to the last key, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&As. All right, so this is it. This is the one thing that you need to know as an actor more than anything else. And it's a question that only you can answer. Am I in it for the long haul? If the answer is no, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you want to be, if you want to be famous and you want to be a reality TV star, you can do that. You can invest in growing your social media, getting seen, looking the part, and you can break your way into reality TV, really. But if you want to be an actor, you got to be in it for the long haul. It doesn't happen overnight. Now, I know that Atlanta has blown up overnight since the Olympics, but that's not the way this business works. It takes time to be a good actor. I'm not talking about being on TV. I'm not talking about being famous. I'm talking about being a good actor. That's not like The Mist. They see you on TV and they forget about you by the next day. Viola Davis will never be forgotten. Taraji P. Henson will never be forgotten. There's no reason why you cannot be as good at acting as any one of those women, unless you stop yourself. They weren't born with something more special than you. We're all made up of the same parts. Let's open it up for some questions. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I'll go. And you speaking about, one of our biggest tools is our humanity and what we bring to the room as a person. How would a person, or an actor, I should say, avoid falling into that typecasted box? Are you giving off something like in your presentation of yourself, your audition, whatever, that you're always, cast as the mean girl? Like Gabrielle Union was a mean girl in everything forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and is she even admitted, to a point, I should say, that she did give that air off because that's how she carried herself for her own personal reasons.
Right.
But if that's not your bag, how do you avoid that?
That's a great question.
That's a good question.
That's a really good question. There's no straightforward answer, but I do have very strong opinions. And one of them is you create your own work. You write your own story, right? Look at Issa Rae. Look at Yvonne Orji, right? I can't remember the name of the actress who did Fleabag. So that's the more entrepreneurial route. Now, people have different opinions about this, but for me personally, I say go where you can be casted. If you're casted as the mean girl, play the mean girl, and play that mean girl in a way that will be so memorable that people will start to see you can do other things. An actress that is a great example of this is Sandra Bullock. Her movie started out very one note, right? And after a while, we started, look at Taraji P. Henson. She started out with what, Baby Boy? And now look at her. Go where you're getting work and challenge yourself with good training. You get involved in an acting class and you continue to challenge yourself to go outside of your box. The more that you know about you, the more you're going to have to offer as an artist. Does that make sense? Okay. Does anybody else have a question? Yes, ma'am.
That is part of what I was going to ask. I write books, so I wanted to know, as far as suggestions, is, turning those fictions into, plays. If you have any suggestions of how I should go about that, besides getting someone to turn into a YouTube movie, or do you think a play? Mhm.
So you're specifically talking about turning a book into a play? I want to make sure, is that what you're saying?
Either a play or like a movie, like the YouTube movies that you can find.
Okay.
You know.
So the first thing, have you ever read a movie script? Leave your mic on for now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have. My son, all through high school, he actually is an actor that really don't want to act anymore, but I have.
Okay. So what I would do if I were in that situation, the first thing that I would do is imagine, what do I want the world to look like on stage or on screen? It might not look like what it looks like in the book, and that's okay. And here's the first thing you need to do before you even do that. I'm not afraid to go outside of the box of the book. Because what I'm writing for the screen or the stage might be very different from the book, and that's okay. And I honestly think that too often people want to make the book look just, or the movie or the play look just like the book. And it's like, it's okay if that doesn't happen. If you market it well and you have a strong audience, you know what I mean? They'll be willing to hear from you. Right? And then people, oh, the book was so much better. That's because they were trying to put the book on the screen, and that's not the world they needed to see. That's the world people wanted to imagine. So it's okay. I think it's okay to go outside the box, right? Once you think about the world, think about your main characters in the book. What does their life look like on a daily basis? What is important in their life? What's most important in their life as it pertains to the story is what we are going to need to see. And then I would do an outline of the major plot points. Like, we meet Sherry, we see where she goes to school. Sherry meets the guy and Sherry go on a date. Sherry finds out the guy's married. You know what I mean? Like the major points, right? Write that out. And this I'll say, this is like I probably should have started with this. Give yourself time. As you know, because you're a writer, writing is rewriting. Don't edit inspiration. If your first screenplay is 200 pages, that's fine. Let it all out. Everything that comes to mind, put it on the page. And if you tell yourself this is a marathon and not a race, you will be able to write something that'll be great.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions? Come on, Kimberly. Come on, girl. I'm looking at you.
I don't have a question per se. I just like a comment. Like, I always wanted to be the next Spike Lee. I write. I did some acting. I wanted to write, produce, direct, do all that with film, books, whatever. Now I look at Issa Rae as my inspiration because I'm a little older. She's younger, but she's awesome, and I just use her life as like, if she can do it, I can still do it.
That's right.
So this is just a comment. Just never give up, no matter how old you are. And that's just why I'm here. I'm never giving up. I may not be the next Spike Lee because Issa Rae is like the next Spike Lee, but still I'll be the next Kim Wesley.
That's right. I was just about to say that. We need a Kim Wesley. That's what we need. I'm trying to see how I can share my screen. I know I was given the capability, but I'm not seeing it here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, okay. Hold on one second.
Nicole, can I make a comment?
Yes, please.
Just going back to what Kim just said, something just popped in my head. if you are going to take anything from Issa and Spike, it would absolutely be don't limit yourself. Look at Spike's catalog of the movies he's made. None of them are really the same. They might have little nuances. There's like, you can tell this was a Spike Lee joint, but he's been all over the spectrum, including writing series for Netflix. Like he doesn't limit himself. If it's an idea that he has and he can put it on paper and then put it in front of a camera, he's going to do it. Issa with the same thing. You know, she might only have a producer credit behind it, but if she believes in it, she's going to do the work to put it out there. So not putting limits on yourself because the world is going to do enough of it for you. That's just my piece.
Yeah. And Kimberly, I wanted to mention, I know you didn't ask a question, but I still want to share this with you. Start with something that you can manage. If it's with your phone, it might just be writing right now. It might just be writing short stories. And educate yourself. In every avenue that you want to write, educate yourself. Some of us, I had to start with YouTube videos before I was able to make my way into school, and I found a way to go back to school and not be in debt. Sharik, do you have a question, or Mo? We have a few more minutes.
I don't have a question, but I wanted to say thank you for, your comment when you were saying, if you think of it as a marathon, because I just recently wrote a book and I've written a short film, but I always feel like it's so short. It's just so short. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna make it longer? What am I gonna do? And I'm like, okay, so is the next book or the next arc gonna continuously be short? And so what I did was I decided to make it my niche. So I call myself the novelet queen. And that's what I did. I decided to make it my niche. And so I'll go there, but I do eventually want to venture out to make it longer.
Yes.
But that does give me anxiety. So I just
But
thank
wait a
you for
minute.
saying that.
You said it's a short film?
I have a short film, but the book I just wrote is a novelet.
Okay, what's a novelet?
It's a short novel.
It's a short novel. Okay,
Yep.
So I want to challenge you or proposition you to change your confession that I'm a storyteller.
Okay.
Because you can write a full-length novel and you can write a feature script. Did you shoot that short film?
I did not.
I think you should.
Yeah, that was the goal, to do the film festival and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just haven't done it.
Yeah, we have to use what's in our hands. We have to use what's in our hands. I don't care if it's 5 pages.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend who in Los Angeles that I studied with that wrote a short film that I think is maybe 20 minutes. And that thing is sweeping awards. And she did it herself.
Wow.
I don't know how she raised the money, but she managed to raise the money and she did it herself. And there's no reason why any one of you can't do the same thing.
Thank you.
Of course. Listen, this is how you get in touch with me. Everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my IG page, the Life I Imagine, I'm rebranding it right now, so there aren't that many photos up, but I do use it. And I want you guys to feel free to connect with me. If you have any questions, if you want to inquire about training or anything of that nature, I am more than happy to, or if you want me to recommend someone because you want to train locally. I can't teach you everything. I do not have all the answers, but I know a lot of great teachers, and consider me a resource. Okay. Yes. All right, ladies. Thank you so much. I hope that some of you will get in touch with me just to chat and say hi.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.